Hey, what's going on guys? Mixuba here. And in today's video, we're going to be revisiting Dimir control for standard 2022. So a lot has changed in the meta since I last played Dimir control. We've made a ton of updates to the deck, and this is my new list. So the deck is less crazy lean and focused on killing aggro, although we still are pretty focused on defending ourselves in the early game and sweeping the board as pretty much all control decks are, but this deck is a lot greedier than the one I posted about a month ago. Basically, with the development of midrange in the format, basically the Orzhov midrange deck becoming super popular, and some Rakdos midrange decks here and there, quite a bit of Golgari midrange, Simic Ramp, all that stuff. With those decks coming out of the woodwork, we can kind of play a greedier version of Dimir control while still trying to keep our early interaction for the aggro decks. So we'll get into the list. We got some Bloodchief's Thirsts. This is important because it's one of the cheaper cards that we have access to, and it's kind of a concession. We play the Bloodchief's Thirst to be able to play greedier cards at the top end, and it also has applications in pretty much every matchup. Worst case, you kick it and take out a big threat or a planeswalker, and it still basically served a purpose. Jwari's as a land that can also act as a counterspell. You guys know how that works. We are a 28 land deck. Don't want to miss a land drop. Negate just counters anything. I kind of want to try to fit more counterspells into the deck, but we're less counterspell heavy, more powerful in kind of the way Sultai Ultimatum tries to be, where you can be kind of assertive with your threats. We still want counterspells because obviously we are still a control deck, but I feel like two negates would be fine, maybe a negate and a disdainful stroke, but it's kind of tight trying to fit them into the list. So if you can fit another one, great. If not, it's totally fine. Jwari's can also act as a counterspell on 2, which is why it's here. Flunk as a catch-all removal spell. That's not amazing because your opponent can kind of play around it with more cards in their hand, but it's been doing okay for me. It's basically just here for the aggro matchup. Hunt is really good, creates a pest, learns. Our learn board is fairly greedy as well, with 2 environmental sciences to fix your mana or just let you keep hitting land drops. Teachings to draw some cards, 3 mascot exhibitions because I've literally cast all 3 in certain games where you just draw your hunts late. Drawing hunts when you have like 10, 12 mana just basically means you have a 9 mana mascot exhibition along with the pest, so we have that, and confront the past to reanimate a planeswalker or take out an enemy planeswalker. I would not fault you for cutting a mascot exhibition and running a second confront the past or trying to fit in a 3rd environmental sciences. Saw it coming as our universal counterspell. Again, I had been playing with with some fewer copies earlier in the meta because it was really cloggy against aggro, but against midrange and control, it's really good. So 3 copies. Soul Shatter because it's a really good 3-mana removal spell in the format, deals with Goldspan Dragon, can deal with planeswalkers, which is also why it is here. Behold the Multiverse and Baleful Mastery on 4. I had a Crippling Fear in here, and then I literally played against Angels 3 times, and I was like, okay, well, 1, this doesn't hit anything in Angels. 2, I just feel like we have better sweepers. So we're running 1-1. This can draw you some cards. This can be essentially catch-all removal that can be expensive or emergency bad removal. I'm not a huge fan of Baleful Mastery, but I'm trying out 1 copy because I've seen it in a ton of lists, and it's been doing all right for me. I still don't love this card. Graven Lore as one of our snow payoffs. We are a snow deck for Graven Lore and Blood on the Snow. Blood on the Snow isn't as good here as it would be in other controlled decks because we don't have cheap creatures. So it's more of a turn 6 sweeper, reanimate Lolth, or just a straight up turn 6 sweeper, or a sweeper later in the game if you could stall it out to bring back one of your bigger planeswalkers. But yeah, that and Graven Lore are the snow payoffs, and we run a snow mana base to support them. This also lets us run less copies of Behold the Multiverse. Lolth as a control planeswalker that's been growing on me more and more, comes down, makes blockers. The blockers can pressure the opponent. You can close the game really quickly with Lolth and Alrund's Epiphany. Also, let me put that here. Yeah. Why is it not going where I want it to? There you go. That's where I wanted it. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so you can end the game really quickly with like a Lolth and a Mordekainen on the board and chaining through Alrund's Epiphanies because you make these spiders draw cards after you're taking the extra turns, make dogs, your dogs get even bigger via your Mordekainen and your Lolth. So with this kind of engine, you close the game really quickly. Lolth has been really good for me. You again, like I said, you play it on 5, make the spiders block, you sweep the board, you can potentially reanimate a Lolth. If not, it sticks around, draws cards. Really good card. Shadow's Verdict and Blood on the Snow. I started out with 4 Blood on the Snow and I realized I wasn't reanimating stuff nearly as much, and Old Growth Troll was a problem. So I've gone to a 2-2 split. Basically, I realized that if you don't have earlier creatures or more planeswalkers, this isn't as great, but it's still good because I've still had plenty of turns where, a bit later in the game we reanimate a big planeswalker. But yeah, Shadow's Verdict also puts in a ton of work. And then Mordekainen and Liliana as just really good top-end Dimir planeswalkers, followed up with the 4 Alrund's Epiphanies as the ultimate top end of the format, also pretty greedy as well, which also fits into our greedy Dimir theme. Along with that, we have a Seagate Restoration. I literally started the deck out with 2 or 3, and at that point, the matchmaker had me face Izzet Dragons like 3-4 times. The matchmaker's been wonky today. Every time I tweak my deck for a certain matchup, it throws me something else. Like the video was all aggro after I tweaked my deck for a bit more control. It's been weird. So basically, Seagate Restoration is another crazy over-the-top play that can also act as a land. Mana base is, it looks like we have more black, but really we have 8, 9, 10, 11 blue sources and 9 black sources, which I think works out just fine because you want double blue on 3 and double black on 5. Also, you want double blue on 5, but if you have it on 3, you also have it on 5. Tap Snowland, Pathway, 1 Hall of the Storm Giants. If you want, you could try to fit in another. I would not blame you. So yeah, guys, that's it for the deck. If you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video, and it will be in the description down below as always. Also, consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. And before we get into some games, I want to mention really quick, how do you find the mic, difference if you compare it to my last video or pretty much any other video during the D&D set? I've gotten a new mic, so let me know how it sounds. Let me know how the audio feels, if it's good, if it's bad, if it's better, if it's worse. Thanks for the feedback. Just let me know in the comments. I appreciate it a lot. And let's get into some games. Aw, man, all blue mana. You know what? We can behold this and then cast it on 3. It's really slow though. But we have a ton of black sources in the deck, so maybe we do just find a black source for turn 2. We're on the play. Alright, let's foretell Behold the Multiverse. And then next turn we can hold open Negate and Behold the Multiverse. Okay, Magda. Black source would have been great there. I could dig for it, but I think we also hold open the Negate. Just in case. It's not like we don't have a land drop, we do. So I think we're okay chilling. Yeah, I think that's worth negating. This deck won't give us many negate targets. Looks like red-white aggro. And a Maul of the Skyclaves seems like a good hit. Okay, there's a land. It is tapped. But it is a snow land. So what's the play? I can behold 4 untapped land to try to get down Hunt for Specimens or Alrund's Epiphany. I think that's worth it. Okay, put those to the bottom. Untapped land. We find some untapped land. We also find a black source. So we'll get that down. Could end up biting us in the ass if we want to go for Blood on the Snow on 6 after Liliana for some reason. I think this is fine though. So what am I taking? We have up to lands 6. We'll probably find more naturally. I'm going to grab a Mascot Exhibition for the future, as if this isn't enough top end. I could have taken an Environmental Sciences for the life, and then next turn could have been Environmental Sciences for guaranteed land and foretell Alrund's Epiphany. Okay, they do have more instants and sorceries or non-creature spells, and they rip apart my Pest. That is more than fine. Magda putting in work right now. Currently has generated them 2 mana. Alright, so slow turn. We foretell the Epiphany, play tap land, say go. If the opponent's going to put a bunch of equipment on Magda, we're really happy to just play Professor Onyx and minus. So this searches us for an equipment. Then equip abilities you activate cost 2 less. Second creature. Ugh, second creature. But we can still Olorun's Epiphany into Professor Onyx. Sacrifices the creature with the greatest power. So they'll lose their Magda. So we can go Olorun's Epiphany into Professor Onyx. Seems good. And now we just have the greedy top end. We've survived for long enough. Unless I want to go for a mascot exhibition first. I think we play Professor Onyx, make them solve it. And once they've solved Professor Onyx, then we can reanimate it with Blood on the Snow. So this reads, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, it goes back to their hand. That's fine. Runeforge Champion. Let's go. Commit more to the board. Rune of Speed. Okay. Magda. So like Dwarf Equipment Tribal. I mean, seems pretty cool. Do I trade off my birds? Let's trade off our birds. Seems fine. Okay, let's go over Rune of Speed. I don't know all these cards by heart, guys. I've not faced runes in a while. If not ever, to be completely honest. I know the runes ETB and enchant something. And draw a card, so as long as enchanted permanence is an equipment, equipped creature gets +1/+1 haste. Okay, so they're always going to have +1/+1 haste. That's fine. Flunk. Bin some land. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I mean, I could remove both of their creatures. I could also just play Mascot Exhibition, have them try to solve it. I could also play Mordekainen and hold open Flunk. I mean, killing 2 of their creatures can't be bad. Like, how bad can that really be for us? Chapter 3 is what? Whenever a creature you control attacks up to 1 target creature, blocks this combat if able. That's fine. They also have the Hive, which I want to remove with a creature land. I think we just take the turn and try to get them to draw deeper into the board. Gain some life with Professor Onyx. This might be a bit greedy, but I think we literally try to get them to play more creatures. They can just equip Maul and activate Cave of the Frost Dragon. They could level that up. I don't really care. They equip their Maul. All of this is fine. Can chump. Them getting a treasure is a-okay with me. Professor Onyx is still on the board. I could have minused there. Do I need untapped land? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I can take tap land. 5, 6. Or I could take untapped land and hold open Soul Shatter. I think tap land is fine for the color fixing. And do I attack with these? I'm in no rush. We're going to hold them back. Okay. So before this enters the battlefield, we're going to flunk away Magda. Flunk deals 4 damage right now because they have 3 cards in hand. Forge Master comes back. That's fine. The Rune of Haste will go on the Runeforge Champion. Make them attack. We can Soul Shatter this thing away. Keep protecting Liliana. And I mean, look at our hand, right? Like, they get to draw this back, but this is completely okay. Our hand is just so powerful. We have bomb after bomb after bomb. Any planeswalkers in the yard? Not yet. Okay. ETB search for a rune. So do I minus here? They can equip again, and it's not going to cost them anything, or it's going to cost them 2. The issue is flying. Like, aside from that, it's not a big deal. They can start gaining life, but again, do I really care? I can make them sacrifice the champion. I can make big dog, but they just fly over it. I'm going to make them sacrifice that. Well, do I even care about making them sacrifice the champion? This is 5. We'll probably find more interaction. You know what? I'm going to go to combat first. We're going to attack with a 4/4. They're at 14 life. I know they have the lifelink rune. But, I mean, if they're just going to make flyers, then it doesn't really affect us all that much. So yeah, we can make them sacrifice the Runeforged champion. I mean, its greatest power... Oh, they choose to sacrifice the other one. I thought they'd go with the champion. We can play the Hall. And we can pass while holding open Gravenlore. Paladin class. Let's Gravenlore now. Autopay. Magecraft trigger. Opponent's getting kind of low on life. And we're healing up a lot. Okay. Put those to the bottom. I'll take an All-Runs Epiphany. Do I exile this? I mean, I guess so. They're gonna need another creature. They could animate their creature land, but if they're spending their whole turn doing that, that's fine. So, Baleful Mastery now. We literally have to because the Paladin class is gonna come down. Awkward, but it's okay. How much mana do we have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is about to be 12. Okay, plate armor. They're just dead, no? Yeah, opponent's literally dead on board. Alright, nice. Okay, weird sequencing by them. And we are more than in this game. I mean, just take a look at our hand, guys. It's not close. Okay. Kind of a slow hand, but it's not horrible. We can hunt and to remove some stuff into our more powerful spells. Alright. Double Epiphany and a Seagate Restoration. So, you know, we got some stuff to do with our mana. Pack Leader. And opponent is off to the races. I will fetch an Environmental Sciences to make sure we keep hitting lands. We can take that 3. That's fine. Blood on the Snow. There it is. Hold open Counterspell and Soul Shatter here. We'll see if the opponent has a way to get 6 power on the board. Ranger class. No thank you. That is a card I am scared of. Quite worried about, if I'm being honest with you. Pack Leader comes back in. I'm going to go with no blocks. We can chill on this pest for a moment. So I think this is a Soul Shatter turn, meaning I kind of want to play this tapped. Just keep building my mana up to 7. Right? Yeah, Shambler gets even bigger. Now, before they go into combat this turn, I'm going to Soul Shatter. Highest mana value, so they lose their Pack Leader regardless. And don't get to draw the card. Okay. Sweet. Chariot. Annoying, but manageable. Would have been good last turn. So do we double foretell here? If we double foretell, we're banking on drawing a land. I don't think I'm willing to take that risk as much as it sucks. I'm going to go for the Environmental Sciences and fetch a land just to make sure we have up to land 6 so we can Blood on the Snow. Now, am I holding open Negate or Foretelling? I think we hold Negate. Like, if they play Ranger class on this turn, it's going to be so devastating. We can come back next turn with a Blood on the Snow, though. Yeah, that's going to hurt. I think opponent missed 1 damage, but I could be wrong. They could have pumped their Swarm Shambler and then attacked with the Cats and the Chariot. Yeah, maybe I'm just tripping. Okay, there's land. That's good. Blood on the Snow. Destroy all creatures. All right, so the opponent needs big creatures to get back in the game. I swear, if we see a Ranger class here, okay. No Ranger class, no Ranger class. And they use a land drop. So, yeah, it's so they can reanimate the Chariot, or, you know, crew the Chariot, sorry. For those of you who give a shit about the technical terms. Alrund's Epiphany, make some blockers. Mordekainen, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to hold these back, get Mordekainen down before I cast other Alrund's Epiphany, and I'm going to make a dog. 4/4 here isn't huge, but it's a relevant body that can grow, and it's a decent blocker. Old Growth Troll, also the whole while holding open Negate. I mean, if they crew the Chariot, I am throwing the Mordekainen dog in front of it. I do not care. Anything? Is that it, opponent? No attacks with the Chariot. Attacks with the Chariot, okay. Trade, block. Good deal. Soul Shatter will make them sacrifice one of their creatures. Let's make another dog. Take another turn. Get in 1 point of chip with the bird. Okay. Let's draw some cards.
Maintaining balance requires insight.
So am I holding this back? I mean the land. Am I making a 6/6 or am I keeping this as an 8/8 and holding all my mana? I could also just start attacking. We have 8, 9, 10, 11. We literally have a 2-turn clock, and I can remove both of my opponent's creatures. You know what? I'm going to be aggressive. Hold on, that's 4, 3. I would have to attack before I did this, right? You know what? Fuck it. Let's get aggressive. Okay, down to 8. Remove the Kazandu Mammoth. Shrink our dog, sadly. Oh man, if I play this land and hold open both, we shrink our dog to a 0/0. So we're gonna pass here. And that means that we're going to not be able to hold open one of these pieces of interaction. Soul Shatter. So, that's interesting. I think I have to do this now. Because the opponent can fetch Environmental Sciences. No, sorry, they can fetch the one that gives Vigilance. I can negate it, but I still think we just remove the troll. I don't love ramping them, but I think this is what we have to do. I could have negated that, but I still either lose my Planeswalker or go to 1, and I value my Planeswalker quite a bit. It's one of our main sources of card advantage right now. They fetch that, okay. Oh, and they did have the Asika's Chariot. Okay. Frustrating, frustrating. Do we make another dog and just pass? I mean, we can negate the introduction. I don't hate making another dog and passing. If I attack, what do they block with? So I can force blocks here, at least a chump block. And then make another dog. All right, let's do it. I could have also plussed and then actively forced one chump block while holding back birds. Chariot is holding priority. It's up to them whether they want to crew it or not. Is it worth attacking with the birds? If this connects, they're dead next turn, but they don't have to block if I attack with the birds. If I don't attack with the birds, here they have to block. Whether they trade or chump is up to them. They choose to chump. Regardless, we essentially use our dog as a removal spell. Put them down to 6. Minus, make another dog. Say go. Hold everything open. I know if we use negate, our dogs shrink. And we'll see what they want to cast Introduction to Annihilation on. Also, if they remove the Mordekainen and let us draw a card, these dogs become 8/8s, which isn't great for them either. So they might literally try to remove a dog, in which case we are negating. Close game. I think I picked a little bit of an aggressive line where I didn't have to, but I don't hate our spot. Mordekainen puts in so much work. Being able to come down and double minus is so good. Yeah, they opt to remove the dog. So I'm going to go with a no on that. And they scoop it up. Let's go. So I guess not having that negate one time was pretty good that other turn to keep our dogs alive. All in all, ends up working out for us. All right, guys, look at this hand. Nice little hunt for the early game. Help get our mana up to our more powerful spells. Can't wait. Let's see if we're finally against another control or mid-range deck. Ideally mid-range, that's kind of the whole purpose of these greedier card choices. Cody Pet, respect. If you guys want to see a Cody deck, let me know in the comments. Very down to play Cody. Massive fan of the card. Just chilling out while our opponent makes their keep decision. All right. Start out on the swamp. Let's see if you're going to be as slow on your turn 1. Plains. Old jumpstart plains too. Oh boy. Paladin class. And we're in for it. Out the get-go. So let's hunt. Grab environmental sciences. Make sure our mana is going to be online. And there's a Clarion Spirit. Okay. Do we make them sacrifice that? How much do I really care? We're going to sweep the board soon. I think we chill on that. So, let's grab more blue. Play it out and pass. Being on the play really helped this game. It means we could take things much more chill. We're not under immediate pressure. And I don't want to block with this 1/1 now. I want to block with it next turn. Okay. Now we're going to have to wait until turn 7 to Shadow's Verdict, which is unfortunate. They take Soul Shatter. I don't know why you would do that. No attacks. Good draw. like, fair. So, we can hunt again. You know what? I'm going to attack with this pest first, because we're about to make another one. Hunt again. I think we get our second teachings. Really just make sure we hit every land. And instead of foretelling, I'm just going to fetch more mana. Alright. 6 mana secured. I mean, not on the board, but you know what I mean. They beef up their creatures. Sure. I guess they're trying to play around a sweeper. Are you going to play a second spell? No, you're not, but I think they have one, which is why you guys saw a stick there. So, I'm going to play Lulth. I'm going to essentially force them into committing more to the board.
My power is for annihilation.
And now Lulth blocks the Spellbinder and chumps, or we can like, sorry, let me rephrase that. A spider blocks the Spellbinder and a 1/1 blocks the, and 1/1 and a spider block the Clarion Spirit. Okay. So I could just block like this now. Seems fine. Opponent's playing really conservatively. Which, I mean, they know we have a Wrath, but we're also getting ahead with our Walker, which they also know we had. Yeah, that they do not stand a good chance this game. At that point, we just Soul Shatter this Clarion Spirit and take over with Lulth plus 2 turns in a row at some point. Okay, good hand. All our mana. We can use Hunt to fetch another land to keep progressing it. Got some counter magic, and we're on the play. I might have mentioned that already, but I'm honestly not sure. Okay, let's go. I'm hoping for a less aggressive matchup, but honestly, if they're taking a mulligan and we have Blood on the Snow, aggro is fine right now. So, what are we doing? Are we hunting? Are we just holding our stuff open? I mean, they didn't play anything on 1, so I think we're good to Jouaris on 2. And if we're not, like, they kept a really freaking slow hand. I'm also not crazy worried about keeping this as a land because we have land 2 or land 3 here and land 4 here. Okay. Dimir control. Sorry, Azorius control versus Dimir control. Got you. I understand. So, now we want to start foretelling and getting some stuff down. Not worried about countering anything on 3 very much. Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm going to play the Hunt before I make my land drop to see if they want to counter it in case they think I'm worried about my mana. Which, I mean, I'm not really. We have 5 total lands. But they might think we are because we played Jouaris down. They divide that. That is completely fine. Like, completely fine. Do I play it again? Would I counter this? No, I wouldn't. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. They play land, I play land. I'm gonna grab teachings. It's essentially a divination, if we can get it to work. This is basically just poor man's teachings. And they double foretell, trying to make my teachings bad. That's pretty cute. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty cute. I wish we could punish them for that by slamming Liliana, but we can't. So we pass and wait for the game to get to a point where teachings matters. 4 cards in foretell. You're scaring me, opponent. You're worrying me. That's a good draw. Not casting that now. We're going to cast on the opponent's turn. See if they want to counter it, then try to resolve Liliana. I mean, through all this mana, of course. Yeah, go for that. Go for your 3 mana kind of wank divination. Kind of like even more wank Behold the Multiverse. Okay. I Graven Lore. I'm guessing they saw it coming, right? Yeah, saw it coming. No surprise there. Flunk. No, we can't do it. I got so punished for taking teachings instead of Divide by Zero. Sorry, instead of environmental sciences. Like, so punished. Damn. I'm so mad at myself. I got greedy, guys. Okay. I wonder how many of those are Doom Scars. We're going to keep chipping away at the opponent with a 1-1. I literally can't do anything else. Believe me, I'd have wanted to. I mean, if the opponent's just going to pass, I guess we're happy to chill. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? If they animate their land, that's fine. And we're the ones applying pressure, so I think we're going to make them make the first move. Normally, I'd try to force something through, but I have a feeling they have a counterspell into like 3 extra turns, which I'm not down for. Let's go. Animate your land. Hit me for 7. You can do it. Nah. I see them touching their mana base. They're freaking doing it. Okay. This does not kill this yet. I will take 7. That is completely fine. Alright, so. Get that down. Play Liliana. And we can start going to town with the pluses. Oh yeah, more of that. More of the planeswalkers. And now we pass. And basically just use this to chump block their bus. Then try to resolve Lolth, hopefully with double counterspell backup. So even though we didn't get this down on 6, we got it down later, and everything kind of worked out. You gain 2 life for each foretold card in exile. Add an Azorius, spend this mana only to cast return card, target card foretell. Alright, that's fine. They gain a bunch of life, get a ramp, and then buy a card back. I'm not countering this thing. I mean, they get to buy back a counterspell, but it's really slow. Is this just Azorius Foretell, not Azorius Control? I mean, it's possible. I plus. Kinda want Mordekainen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could grab the Mordekainen and play the Mordekainen. Or I can grab the Hunt and then grab an Environmental Sciences. Kind of want to also play Lolth for like, what is that, 5? You know what? I'm going to make this sensible play and take this. You know what? Bidding Mordekainen isn't bad either because we can reanimate it with Blood on the Snow. Let's resolve Lolth before anything actually happens. Just to make sure we can. Okay, counterspell. I think I'll fight that one. Use the negate instead of the Sot coming. Because 1, I'm trying to empty my hand for teachings. 2, Sot coming is more universal. If they want to Wrath this board, of a bunch of tokens and just pump my Lolth back to full loyalty, that's completely fine. Okay. They ramp a little bit. They're going to need a miracle, though. Like, I know they have a lot of cards, and I know they probably have a ton of extra turns. That's fine. But I really like our spot.
I do what I demand.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a no-go. And they're done. So happy I took that swamp. Some of you might have been a little confused or a little bit like, just be greedy. And trust me, I wanted to be greedy. But holding open 2 counterspells after resolving Lolth was just so powerful.